What are you here for today?
Physically, I'm just standing here.
Okay. Why here of all places? I know you don't live nearby.
Ocean something.
Okay. That's why you're stood. Is you standing here part of the protest?
No, I'm not protesting.
Are you praying?
I might be praying in my head.
So I'll ask you once more, will you voluntarily come with us now to the police station for me to ask you some questions about today and other days where there are allegations that you've broken public spaces protection order?
If I've got a choice, then no.
Okay, well then you're under arrest on suspicion of failing to comply with the Public Spaces Protection Order, which is under the Antisocial Behaviour Crime Policing Act 2014. Now, I'll caution you again, you do not have to say anything. It may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which later on in court, anything you do say may be given evidence.
Praying silently in your own head? How dare you, you peasant slave! Off to the jail is literally what's happening in the United Kingdom right now, and it's probably going to be happening almost everywhere. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Luke Radowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there definitely is a plethora of absolutely crazy news to get into, as well as the latest developments geopolitically unfolding right now at the U.S. Capitol that we're going to be talking about, as well as all the U.S. intelligence agencies that seem to be getting more and more control over the general public, especially when it comes to memes, comedy, and satire with online political speech. Lots of crazy stuff to get into, lots of crazy developments. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast, which is partly supported by you guys purchasing our t-shirts. And if you like the shirt that I'm wearing right now, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was originally released by the Daily Wire, highlighting a clip in the United Kingdom where a woman was arrested and sent to jail for simply praying inside of her own head outside of a medical facility. Now, obviously, this was a very hot button issue, very hot button topic, but this is what happens when people have no First Amendment, highlighting the clear draconian nature of government that will literally send women to jail, to their local precincts, detain them for having thoughts or prayers inside of their own heads. And this is not the craziest thing that we have seen come out of the United Kingdom, as there's a plethora of this kind of behavior all over the world, especially becoming more prominent in Europe, where in some instances, churches, political parties, and even entire media companies are being shut down by the government. This is especially true in Ukraine, that is going through, of course, a major proxy war between the East and the West. This, as of course, Volodymyr Zelensky was just at the U.S. Senate with American politicians that are promising to back him, quote, as long as it takes. This from the same administration and politicians that are now trying to reinstate mask mandates on airplanes. This from the same Congress that posed for this particular picture. Now, will they rubber stamp a $1.7 trillion omnibus bill? Will they be giving Ukraine more money? Well, let's be honest here. Probably. This says we have to understand that this additional money to Ukraine will also most likely prolong the conflict there. The Russian government is warning that the possibilities of peace talks have now been diminished even further with this meeting to the United States, as Russian state representatives are literally coming out and calling this meeting, quote, a fatal mistake, as the geopolitical proxy conflict there most likely will be prolonged, as I've been saying, could even go as long as many more years and decades to come. And as the United States props up another proxy conflict here domestically, things are getting very interesting with our own military, as of course today we're finding out that the Marines may be banned from using the word sir and ma'am in order to avoid misgendering their superiors. Yes, this is the conversation that's happening within the ranks of the U.S. military right now, combined with, of course, their woke recruitment efforts, which haven't really worked, and, of course, virtue signaling that is confusing a lot of people. But hey, at least right now we still get to call a lot of this nonsense out on Twitter for now, as, of course, Mr. Beast might be taking over the platform, as Elon Musk, the current owner of Twitter, just said that it's not out of the question, as he has now officially went on the hunt to look for his replacement at Twitter, as of course he has shortly announced that he will be stepping down. Will it be Mr. Beast, or will it be an artificial intelligence? Well, who knows with how crazy things are getting in our society, with France even officially announcing today that they are planning on using artificial intelligence assisted control for the Paris 2024 Olympics, using this technology in order to monitor people, all in the name of course, security, just like the Chinese do it with their social credit score. It's all done for security. Yeah, no human rights violations, nothing wrong with facial recognition, tracking every one of your movements, of your thoughts, of your expressions, of your ability to move around as a human being. This, as of course technology becomes more and more ingrained in our everyday life, and let's be honest here, becomes more and more of a threat against all of us. But hey, not all hope is lost just yet. There's still some really important things you should be doing, especially for yourself and your family members, which I'm going to be discussing later on today on LukeUncensored.com, our own platform, where we get to say and do what we want. Today's video will definitely be very interesting, to say the least, highlighting the greater insanities of our society with, of course, some solutions, all issues that we would never be able to discuss here on this platform, so that's why we just built our own. Along with that, we, of course, have a forum. We, of course, have 3 masterclasses, a merchandise that is only available for members of LukeUncensored.com. So if you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? You could also gift this members area just like you would any kind of Netflix or Disney Plus, and you should honestly, to be real with you guys, think about who you're supporting and try to vote more with your dollars, incentivizing the things you like rather than the things you detest. So yeah, if you're looking for a last-minute Christmas gift, you could give them the gift of LukeUncensored.com just by simply signing up here in the top right-hand corner. Click the link down in the description below right now to find out more. Now, yesterday, the Federal Bureau of Investigations released a very bewildering statement related to, of course, the release of the Twitter files that showed documents, receipts, and proof of their clear involvement when it came to the larger censorship efforts of comedy, satire, and political pages on the Twitter platform. There's no denying that this has happened. We had the documents, we have the communications, we have everything we need to know to understand this, but according to the FBI, this is somehow misinformation and conspiracy theories. Yes, you heard that. With the FBI officially responding, gaslighting the American people in the abusive relationships that we are forced to have with them, saying that everything that is being released is just trying to discredit the agency. I think they just did that with their own statement. That is absolutely Orwellian, as the party is literally trying to tell you to reject the evidence of your own eyes and ears. We have reached this level of absurdity, and we are here with this Orwellian doublespeak FBI statement that shows you just how opposed they are to any kind of legitimate transparency or accountability for their actions, which they will, of course, deny, even though there is overwhelming amount of evidence proving that they did so. This, as it's important to note here, that the intelligence agency's control of big tech social media is becoming more and more apparent to the average person paying attention to it. The corporate media, by and large, has been ignoring these larger Twitter files, which have been very big. And what's happening at Twitter is just one particular instant of many other social media companies that are totally infiltrated with these agents, as the Daily Mail is reporting ex-CIA agents, even including a president briefer who now run the harmful content team on companies like Google and Facebook. So many ex-FBI officials worked at Twitter that they even had their own Slack channel. This, as of course, all these big online companies are fully infiltrated with intelligence agents who obviously obviously have a very clear conflict of interest, especially when it comes to people reporting, documenting, and detailing what exactly is going on here. And with this larger revolving door of government agents with big tech social media companies, it's becoming harder and harder to find a distinction when it comes to everything that they're doing, which coalesces around the larger expansion of state powers. The Daily Mail actually did a very interesting job highlighting agent after agent after agent after agent after highlighting the many faces of a lot of these individuals making key critical decisions at what we are able to see, hear, and listen to. And clearly, as we learned, a lot of these agents' involvement in the big tech social media space has been a hindrance to people being able to speak honestly and freely, has stunted human progression, and has allowed very horrible things to continue without any pushback, because the federal government and its agents prevented larger truths from coming out to the general public. And when we look at larger institutions like the Federal Bureau of Investigations, they are becoming more and more aggressive, especially when it comes to people who were born with a specific color of skin and genitalia. This as they are prioritizing things like going after comedians on Twitter, interrogating students over flyers that say it's okay to be white, investigating parents who were critical to CTR and show up at parent-teacher conferences, inflating numbers of white Americans in their domestic terrorism stats, while even according to whistleblowers trying to find white supremacy even though it is not there. And as these actions are becoming more and more aggressive against the people, it's also important to note that there is a provision within the $1.7 trillion omnibus bill that would grant them $12 billion in additional funding and support, as well as another $2.6 billion for U.S. attorneys, a part of the DOJ, to go after and prosecute more cases from the January 6th incident at the Capitol, with the total of $39 billion with a B dollars going towards the Justice Department that, of course, has been acting more and more like a political Gestapo for the Democratic Party establishment. All of this as former Congressman Ron Paul just reiterated what he has been calling for a very long time, and that is for the FBI to be abolished. Do you think that should happen? Let me know down in the comment section below. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively watching and sharing these videos. One more video coming your way on lukeuncensored.com, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.